Folks, I owe all of you a huge apology. I thought I hit go live in YouTube and I did not. So yeah, I am really sorry about that. I have been sitting here going back and forth trying to keep you updated on two different races, not noticing that I wasn't even live. So we missed qualifying, and I apologize for that. We'll see the starting grid here in just a moment. Pop over to race number 2. We're doing a little picture-in-picture action for you tonight. So the other race, the grid number 2, is Ethan Patel from Shaggy Muffin, Beamer NG, Mr. Sandunga, Joel Guron, Enjoyer, Hokage Roldy, Stars FPS, Condor the Fox, Big Ale Bro, Fitz Dickwell, and Buffalo Trace, the Alfa Romeo team principal, in a Mercedes. So 12 drivers over there, 33 laps, grid 2. Now, where's the action? It's over here, folks, and I am so sorry we missed it all. On pole, Hudson Poole, Eric Carvalho, Rhapsody is P2, Jeffrey Lawler in P3, Ian Krieger was temporarily on pole, got pushed all the way down to P4, Aaron Altmaier, Graz in the Aston Martin, Thermo in P6, Razor Senna, a pair of AlphaTauris, and Jason Pelter and Maxime. And then we've got Major Castleman in P10, combined YouTuber, Tom Hatcap, Big Mama Frank, Gary Hamilton, John Pelon, and the guy that if you would have been hearing me stream, you would have probably loved to see. And Cody Lawrence just kept teasing us all through qualifying. He said a 119 and some change. Very slow lap for him. Really thought he was going to be somewhere in the top 5. Just kept driving around with full battery over and over and over again. Finally starts to set a flyer. It is just up huge on his time. Looks like he's going to smoke the entire grid. Pulls into the pits at the last moment. All right, folks, while they go through here, I'm going to grab some water because my voice is about dead. Sorry to everyone that hit me up with all of that I have no idea what this is. Somebody just sent me something really weird. But anyway, thanks for the pings in the Discord. I did not see them because I don't pay attention to Discord unless it's in the direct chat. And so didn't see what was happening. I apologize for that. And up there in the corner, going to have a pretty good race start. We'll check in with them from time to time. But the action that we're concerned about right here is with Grid 1. Again, apologies for the mistake earlier. But the reason we're doing this is we want to see some of these drivers for the first time. Some of these guys we haven't really got to see race. Cody Lawrence, not going to be drafted, not going to be full-time. He is going to be reserving this season. But some of these guys, the team principals don't really know what they're all about. Haven't had a lot of chance to watch them race. So we'll get them in here with some of the fastest of the fast here in Zoom Racing League and see what they can do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights out, and we are underway. Decent start from Graz there. Is going to take the spot potentially from Ian Krieger here. Goes side by side, wheel to wheel, and here comes an Alfa Romeo. A Thermo, what a start from him. Jumps up immediately, so it's Hudson Poole in the lead of the race. Dago, Eric Carvalho, Thermo, and Jeffrey Lawler up 2 spots. Thermo up 2 spots. Major Castleman up 2. 3 spots lost for Razor Senna. Cody Lawrence already up 4 spots, 5 spots. Cody Lawrence on an absolute tear here at the beginning. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 1. Looks like Tom Hatcap and Gary Hamilton may have gotten tangled up there and certainly got left behind as they're going to have to do major work to try to catch up here. So in the lead of the race, takes the spot from Hudson Poole as Jeffrey Lawler. He went from P3 to P1 in a matter of a couple of corners. Thermo had a great start, up 2 spots there. Check the tires real quick and see what these folks have going on. Tires, talking to Cody Lawrence earlier, he was telling me these mediums can go 25 laps. They're pretty bulletproof, he says. And so far, pretty good job getting them fired up. So almost all the grid on the medium. Soft tires for Eric Carvalho, Jason Pelter, Major Castleman, Maxime, and Razor Senna. All right, folks, had another weird message I had to deal with. All right, sorry, we're back. We are good. All right, so fastest lap course goes to Jeffrey Lawler. Predicted pit stop strategy, medium to hard or soft to hard. Don't think we're going to see that. Gary Hamilton into the pit, assuming with wing damage. Check in with him momentarily, see if they are going to change that wing. Yep, they got a wing ready to go. Going to put the hard tires on, put a new wing on, and try to catch up the pack. Already more than half a lap down. Tom Hatcap slowly catching up there, but bunch of work for Gary Hamilton to do to try to get back into this race. Pardon me, folks. All right, we'll keep an eye here on this. Getting some more messages in the chat. Guys, I can't really chat back and forth with you there. It'd be better if you did it in the YouTube stream if you had something you really need to talk to me about. Otherwise, I have to get back with you after a while. All right, so let's pop back over the other race, see what's going on there. Drive-through penalty, speeding under the virtual safety car for Tom Hatcap. I didn't see the VSC because I looked away momentarily. So let's check in over here. Beamer from Joel, from Ethan, from Condor, from Big L Bro. Buffalo Trace up from P12 all the way up to P6. Stars FBS, Enjoyer, Shaggy Muffin, Hokage Roldy. Mr. Sandunga has dropped from P4 down to P11 in the pits currently. Dick Fitzwell is in P11. Pop back over here and see what's going on with our super fast boys. DRS is now enabled. The drivers will have the opportunity to open up that rear wing as Jeffrey Lawler goes around Razor Senna. Jeffrey Lawler must have had a bit of an incident. He was in the lead of the race, dropped all the way down to P10. Sorry, folks, I am riding solo tonight. I don't have anybody in here with me. I'm already sweaty and tired. Not been feeling well today. Been a little bit under the weather, but wanted to make sure that all of our team principals had a chance to watch these races, watch these racers, watch these guys try to put on a show. And we're going to take some time and just ride on board with everybody. Get you a lap on board with them through the circuit, see how they race, see how they handle their inputs, try to give everybody as much information as we can because this draft is super important. It is a brand new game and a lot of things are going to get reset. We saw amazing performances from some of the Haas drivers, some of the McLaren drivers. The Aston Martin drivers were particularly impressive this year, so much so that they have jumped McLaren in the standings for the combined constructors, so they will actually be picking earlier. They nearly were in the same tier with Ferrari, and so that is 1 week away. We have 1 week to try to figure this out as team principals, as team bosses, to figure out who we want to draft. So Hudson Poole, fastest lap of the race, 1:20.4, about 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds off of his qualifying time. Aaron Altmaier has just fallen outside of the DRS. Eric Carvalho into the lead of the race. Takes a spot from Hudson Poole, but Hudson Poole is not done yet. Around the outside in the Ferrari. Gonna hold on to the spot. The medium tires are working wonders for Hudson Poole. Eric Carvalho doing his best to keep up, but the soft tires don't have as much grip as the mediums. Well, it doesn't make much sense to me, folks. But right now it is a 3-horse race. Hudson from Arrow, from Thermo. Jeffrey Lawler got to do a lot of big work here to try to get back into this race. Cody Lawrence all the way from P16 up to P9. A big move there from the Alpine driver. And I wonder if he was just trying to toy with us a little bit and do a last to first challenge. All right, so good opportunity to overtake here. Hudson Poole putting a little bit of a gap on Eric Carvalho here. So Rhapsody hasn't used a ton of battery. Hudson, I assume, has quite a bit more. He does. Hudson has a ton of battery left. Oh, and Eric Carvalho goes around. I switch back to him right at the perfect time. Spins into the pit lane, does a couple of donuts for his trouble. Now he's committed to the pit lane. He's going to go ahead and go in and change off those soft tires, but unfortunately loses 11 positions on the stop. Not ideal. I don't think that was ever the plan. 3 laps on the softs is rarely a thing that we see drivers do, but Eric Carvalho with that spin, with those heated tires, already in the pit lane, just go ahead and commit, throw on the softs, or the mediums, and try to make it all the way to the end. So Eric Carvalho does put on the mediums in P13 of the race. Now he's down to P14, loses a spot to John Pilon. Is he also going to lose this spot to Tom Hatcap? Let's see. Let's check in with the temporary Mercedes driver. Does Tom Hatcap get ahead? No, they're coming out side by side into turn 1. Tom does get the spot. So Tom Hatcap was fallen all the way back after his tangle with Gary Hamilton on lap 1 of the race. And catching back up is Tom Hatcap. Eric Carvalho trying to fire up those tires there in the background, weaving, trying to get some temperature in, trying to make sure that he can stay with Tom Hatcap because it's going to be important to keep the DRS here, and the two of them work together to try to catch up the pack. They're so far behind that they're for all intents and purposes, out of the race unless they can make up a ton of time while driving kind of on their own. And Craig are in P4 of the race right now. DRS train, Hudson has actually broken the DRS on Thermo, I believe. Let's see. Thermo does not have DRS, so he's going to be under attack from Aaron Altmaier. Aaron way too far back to make anything happen this lap. Who's Cody Lawrence all the way up to P8 now. Looks like he's going to have enough to get this move on Maxime. Looks down the inside, wisely backs out, tucks it behind, and says, see you next lap. A yellow flag for Gary Hamilton. Gary looks like he lost it there, going coming out of turn 8, going up the hill to turn 9. We've got a Jason Pelter Gator going slowly there, dropped a couple of positions. Don't know if he had just a little lazy spin. Doesn't look like any damage to the front of that AlphaTauri, but he's going to have a little bit of hot, a little bit of dirty tires. 5 laps on the softs. I'm thinking these drivers are going to come in around lap 8 to 9 for the soft runners. Major Castleman up into P5 already. He's made a pretty good recovery here. Another yellow flag in Sector 2 for Big Mama Frank, it looks like. See what happened to Frank. Temporarily ghosted, lost the front wing. Don't know if that was a contact or if he just damaged it himself, but not ideal for the Season 5 D or the Season 6 D5 champ, Big Mama Frank. Check in with this tight pack right here. Jeffrey Lawler's made up a whole bunch of spots, and he is all over the gearbox of Cody Lawrence. 2/10 bag. Cody's also going to have the DRS, so it's going to be very difficult for him to overtake here. Cody a little bit further back from Maxime this time around. A lot of battery dump here for Cody Lawrence. Jeffrey Lawler's same, very similar battery usage there, about 10% difference between the two. Going to hold those spots up here, so I think this this race is going to become kind of processional here, but let's check back in with the other race, see how it's going over there. Fitz Dickwell, the AlphaTauri man in charge, is out of the race. Hoka Troldies dropped down to P11. Buffalo Trace in P6. Joe Guron leading from Beamer MG at Ethan Patel, Shaggy Muffin, Big Ale Bro in P5, and there's Buffalo Trace in P6. Let's tell you what I'm going to do here, folks. For just a minute here, I'm going to go ahead and kill that up in the corner so you get the full screen effect here. Now you can see the sector times for these drivers as they come around. Hudson Poole down to P10. It looks like Hudson had a moment, or several of them, missing that left front end plate. Now, here's one of the things I've been talking to these drivers about that I found kind of interesting is many of them have been telling me, and each other, of course, that driving with a damaged wing in this game is way less impactful than it was in previous games. Now, most of that's because most of the aero is provided by the under tray in the floor. If you watch today's real race, as Hudson Poole does go into the pits, we saw it. Actually, let's start with last year. Last year, we saw at Jeddah when Lewis and Max had that collision at the end of Sector 3, just before the DRS zone, when Max attempted to let him pass, brake checked him. I don't care what side you're on. You know the situation. But Lewis was actually faster at the end of the race, even with a broken wing, which seemed, totally illogical for, people that think like with an engineer's mind like me. But then we saw today where early damage on the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, and he stuck it out the whole race. Even when he came into pit, they did not change that front wing. And so the way the aero is designed on these cars, they can take a little more damage in the front. However, opposite is not true. We saw damage to the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, and what happened there? Lost all balance of the car, was losing rear grip for merely a little strake near the brake duct inlets. The way it moved some of those vortices across some of the other surfaces, and he had a very unbalanced car that he couldn't drive competitively. Looks like John Pilon has had an issue in turn 3. Doesn't look like he's lost his front wing. He is temporarily ghosted, and he'll get that McLaren back going again. Gonna take out some Emirates signs, do a little frustration there. Oh, 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits for driving off the track. Oh, there goes into the wall. And apparently damage isn't turned on to high enough that Pilon could actually kill his car there. Let's just say I hope that wasn't intentional, but it sure didn't look like he was interested in stopping there. All right, back up front, Aaron Altmaier still chasing down Ian Krager. Thermo, Jeffrey Lawler makes up another spot, back up to P6. So pretty good recovery here from Jeffrey Lawler as he goes to work on Maxime here. Cody Lawrence from last place in the beginning, P16, all the way up into P4. So Cody Lawrence, I think, even though we didn't see qualifying because I made a mistake, folks, again, I apologize for that. I think Cody Lawrence was playing with us. I think he was toying with us. And here he is into P4. Excuse me. And doing absolutely fantastic work on those medium tires. So hard runners right now, Hudson Poole, Big Mama Frank, Gary Hamilton. I guess there were concerns with them that the mediums weren't going to go all the way. And so they get off the softs a little bit early. Now, granted, Frank had the spin, lost the front wing, and so it kind of damaged limits to what he could do there. John Pilon into the pits and retires. So it looks like maybe a little bit of bump. Jeffrey Lawler bumps Maxime into the pit. A little bit of bump draft in there. Wrong racing series. This is not NASCAR, folks. You don't want to do that too many times to another driver, but that promotes Jeffrey Lawler into P5, Cody Lawrence into P4, and both of the AlphaTauris in at the same time. Is this going to double stack them? Maxime gets out just in time for Pelter to come in behind him. Pelter going on to the hard tires, it looks like. Maxime onto the mediums. I wonder if maybe Pelter didn't get the memo that some of us got earlier, that you can actually take the mediums around here about 25 laps without much issue. All right, folks, got to step away for just a second once again. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I keep getting weird messages from folks from other Discord, so I'm gonna have to check in with them and see what's going on there. So, thermo from Ian Krager, from Graz, Cody Lawrence, Jeffrey Lawler, Razor sent up into P6. The Australian combined YouTuber in P7. Maxime just came out of the pits, landed in P8, just ahead of Major Castleman, who's in P9. I guess Major stopped just before Maxime, so undercut, not really working for Major Castleman, still stuck behind Maxime. His teammate Tom Hatcap 8.7 seconds back on those 9-lap old medium tires. Razor, the last of the soft runners here. Let's just take a ride on board with Razor here and see how those softs are holding up. 10 laps in, that's pushing it right to the limit of what they can do. All right, so getting word from John Pilon, or Julian Pilon. I need to change that on the stream. He said it was not intentional. He's just terrible, and he has no force feedback in his wheel. Been hearing a lot of complaints about wheel compatibility in this new game. A lot of folks having issues. Just wheels not working, pedals not working. In fact, the only reason we have the race 2, which we'll pop over to here in just a second, once we get Razor into the pits to see where he's going to come out. NVA runs a Logitech wheel with Fanatec pedals, and for some reason those two pieces are not working out. Pilon says also had sound cutting out every lap. That's another thing, folks. If you've been having the audio bug, audio simulation quality, and set it all the way to low. In fact, I can show you real quick. Come right here, and you want to pop on over to your audio settings. Then you want to go down here to your audio simulation quality and put it on low or ultra low. That'll take care of some of the issue. It's not going to fix everything for everyone. All right, Razor is not coming in, so since he's not going to come in, we're going to go out. Let's check in with race number 2 here. So it's Joel Guron. Oh, it looks like Beamer is out of the race, and that is a full safety car for those folks over there. A couple of cars ahead of the safety car. Don't know. Another fun bug, it looks like. So it's Joel Guron, Ethan Patel, Buffalo Trace up into the podium positions, yet to pit. Shaggy Muffin on a fresh set of softs. Enjoyer, Big Ale Bro, Condor the Fox, Stars, Mr. Sandunga, and Hokage Roldy. Does Maxime have a move he's setting up here? He's on the back of Major Castleman. Actually, they just swapped those positions. Major was behind Maxime. Con Hatcap into the pits and calls it quits. Went and parked the Mercedes. He's done. See if we can get any word from him about what happened, what his situation was. But disappointing to see guys not be able to finish out the race. We're only a third of the way into it, and we've already had 2 retirements in both lobbies. Thermo into the pits after 11 laps on the mediums. That seems early, and that promotes Ian Krager into P1 and Aaron Altmaier into P2. There's Cody Lawrence into the podium positions from dead last on the grid. So Cody Lawrence putting in good work in the Alpine. I know that's one that a lot of team principals want to have their eye on, but unfortunately, Cody's not going to be racing full-time here. Where does Thermo slot out? Lost all the way down to P6 from the lead of the race. Is he going to come out ahead of combined YouTuber? No. Major Castleman is going to be close. He's got the speed. Can he carry it through? Can he get the spot from Thermo? And no, he's way too far back. So Thermo sluts out P7 and immediately spins for his effort. And so Major Castleman will get the spot, as will Maxime. Thermo spun around hot. Oh no, he's got himself beached. Oh, he got absolutely Revis. This is the Revis experience. Reset to track. Hurry, Thermo. Before you get disqualified, you have to reset to track now. Don't Revis it. You're going to Revis it. Don't do it, Thermo. Where is he? Let me pop down here and see if I can talk to him real quick. He is not in the Discord voice chat. No, Thermo and disqualified, parked in a dangerous location. That is the Revis rule. That is why we allow drivers to reset to track. We don't have it as something that can happen. And there it is. His AI cannot do it either. So Thermo, the Barbadian driver, Revised it, got beached, exactly like what happened to me in Baku in season 1 of Division 3, and he is out of the session. And I can tell you folks, there's folks in the chat right now that are like, hey, just reset the track, just reset the track. I promise you, I ain't no dummy, and it never occurred to me to stop trying to unbeach my car. Because it's easy when you're on the outside, but when you're freaking out and trying to get back into the race, it's easy to forget that you have that option. Barney Goatmare, reset, bro, reset to track. You Revised it, says Julian Pilon. Barney, use your brain. 10 IQ from Pilon. Revis is a dummy. That's why it's called a Revis. Well, there we go. Barney and Julian timed out for at least a week. You can't insult the admin like that. All right, still riding on board with Cody Lawrence. I'd like to know what you guys think. I really like the Alpine livery. I like the blue and pink. I think it looks different. It really stands out on the grid. We don't get to see a whole lot of them in the real race, so it's kind of cool to just follow one around. I think it's a good balance of color. A lot of folks call it the Pepto-Bismol car. You know, I get it, but you know, it's I don't know. I think it's a nice car. I miss the old BWT Force Indias. I thought those were really cool cars. And so it's good to see them back. BWT, is, as far as I can tell, is a pretty good Austrian company. They mainly focused on providing clean water and healthy alternatives to folks in situations and places where access to clean water is difficult. So as far as I know, good company, good dudes, good sponsor to have in Formula One. And I don't know, the pink looks good on the car. Let's check in with the other race for just a moment here. Not much changed there. Still under safety car, so nothing excited. Yeah, Thermo, we saw that, man. You Revised it, man. I was cheering for you. And I looked to see if you were in the chat so I could pop over and tell you to reset to track. But yeah, that's super disappointing, man. I'm sorry that happened to you, but you're doing really good until then. We caught the spin, and we saw you get beached, and yeah, glad we stuck with it. So we got you on stream, and so now you can join the Revis No Reset Beached on Track Championship and a Hall of Shame. You have any other close battles on track? Not really. Jason Pelter potentially gonna have a run here on Razor Senna shortly. Razor on the medium tires, so probably going to have a little bit more grip than those 5-lap old hards of Jason Pelter. But I was talking with Duncan McCamick the other day, and he was telling me that he thinks Jason Pelter is going to go way, almost a spin there from Razor as they go side by side through the newly shaped turn 10 up to turn 11, and Jason Pelter does take the spot. I wonder if Razor just hasn't got the tires fired off yet, so he didn't have the grip that he needed through that sector, and so he loses the spot. But he is going to have the tire advantage towards the end of the race because I think the mediums are going to be in a much better window. It looks like Ian has lost some spot. Oh, he went in and put on the hard tires for the final 17 laps. My driver I told you to watch at the beginning of the race, Cody Lawrence, now almost within 1 second of Aaron Altmaier. Graz there in P1. Cody was the one that told me 25 laps on the mediums in Grand Prix mode, which we assume is going to have really, the way he had it set up, is going to be very similar to this race. Yellow flag temporarily for, looks like the AlphaTauri of Jason Pelter. Okay, he's lost the spot to Razor Senna. Razor got that spot back. So, but I think Cody Lawrence, you're going to see him come in around lap 24 to 26. Somewhere in that, 3-lap window. and probably go on to the softs for the end of the race. And I think Cody is going to be one of them, like Bronson. It's big brain time. He's thinking about the end of the race before the race even starts. Most people are thinking about the race start. What am I going to do in the middle parts? Some guys begin with the end in mind, and I think Cody is one of those guys when it comes right down to it. Major Castleman going to have the ERS on combined YouTuber here. Is he close enough to make anything happen? He is not. But he is all over the back of the gearbox, is Major Castleman. Another one that's new to Zoom Racing League. Don't know much about him. He has a known quantity in several other leagues. Very quick driver. Very bright driver from the few interactions he and I have had. Some of the stuff that he's posted in the Discord as far as responding to tickets and opening tickets. Of a guy that very much understands racing, and talking to a couple of these guys as we get ready for the draft. He's a name that came up several times when I asked people, if I draft you, give me a list of people you would want to race with, and he was on several of those lists. So he's a guy that's very respected, that folks really seem to think he's a pretty good driver. Let's check in with the other race real quick. See what's going on over there. Shaggy Muffin is taking the lead of the race on those soft tires over Joel Guron on the hards. A little bit of a pace advantage there for Shaggy Muffin. So it's Shaggy from Joel. Ethan, Mr. Sandunga, back into P4 where he started the race. He is going to have to pit again. I don't know. Lap 16. Yeah, I don't know that he can make it to the end on those medium tires. Big Elbro, Enjoyer, Stars FPS, Buffalo Trace into the pits, Condor the Fox into the pits, Focage Roldy on the hard. So everybody else can make it all the way to the end. So Shaggy Muffin and Mr. Sandunga are definitely going to have to pit again. All right, combined YouTuber into the pits after 17 laps on his medium tires. Where will he sort out? Still sitting, not moving just yet. Loses 2 spots and another 2 to boot. So that's going to drop him all the way down to P11. Big Mama Frank still far enough back, not a threat to overtake there. Checking again with Cody Lawrence. Cody down to 2/10 behind Aaron Altmaier. Is he going to make the move here? He is going to make the move. He's going to go down the inside in the DRS zone through the newly profiled turn 10, and that's an easy move for Cody Lawrence into the lead of the race. Started in P16, no damage, hasn't had to change his tires yet, so he's going to lead for probably at least another good 6 to 8 laps here in our preseason testing. Try to raise your draft stock championship here in Zoom Racing League. Aaron Altmaier not able to take the spot back through that DRS zone. Has burned through a lot of battery. Cody Lawrence has a slight battery advantage, even though he was the attacking car for the last 5 laps. But look who's invited himself back to the party, folks. Jeffrey Lawler, after that early incident, dropped way down the order, now back up into a potential podium position. Driver with the advantage right now, I think, is going to be Ian Krieger. He is not going to have to stop again. Every driver in front of him is likely to have to stop again. Major Castleman might be able to make it. It's another 14 laps. That's going to put him right at that 25 lap window. So he may be able to hold on here to the end, but those tires may start to be crying just a little bit, as Jeffrey Lawler was able to get into the DRS of Aaron Altmaier, Graz. So now he's going to be trying to get around Graz to try to put the attack on Cody. Right now, Jeffrey Lawler, they go lapping much faster than these other drivers, but it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. And when you have really high quality drivers like Dago wants Aaron Allmeyer, he wants Graz to be his teammate, so he knows what kind of driver he is. You don't request or require somebody like that to be your teammate if they're just average and you're going to have to carry them. So Jeffrey Lawler is going to have a lot of work to do, even if he does catch Graz, to actually get around him then. Hudson Poole, who started on pole in this race, Eric Carvalho, who started in P3, but the pair of them down in P7 and P8. Can Hudson do anything with the DRS here? Fully 8/10 back and losing, starting to gain and pick up some of that. So there's 7/10, 6/10. So that's worth about 4/10 right there if you're Hudson Poole. 5/10 almost, nearly down to 6/10 that he has caught up to Eric Carvalho. Now, does that mean that Hudson's just running a lower downforce setup? Is that part of that? And he's losing time in the more technical sectors here as Hudson goes a little bit wide through turn 3 there. So the question is, can he keep up with Era here? Can he pass Rhapsody in this next DRS zone, or are the hard tires not quite fired up after 12 laps? I think they probably are, folks. But the medium is right at the middle of its expected useful life. All right, here come the Hudson Pool. The short DRS straight on the DRS early. Didn't even hear the beep happen. Not enough time, not enough lap to catch him up here. So does Hudson Pool take the spot here on the main straight? Keeping an eye on this, folks, because these are two guys that are expected to go in the top 4 to 5 picks in Division 1. Eric Carvalho wants to be partnered with Maxime, who's currently in P6. Hudson Pool, the defending champion, drivers and world constructors champion for Division 1 in Season 4 of Zoom Racing League. Has he fallen off a little bit compared to some of these other drivers? Is the new game not working with him quite as well as the other? Here we go. Can he catch him up? 6/10 back. Still 6/10 back. 5/10 back. Not enough straight. Not enough time. And Hudson Pool is not going to be able to catch up. And Era doing a great job of holding him off for now. Ian Krager getting closer and closer to the back of Major Castleman. Jeffrey Lawler is on the back of Aaron Altmaier, who is in danger right now of losing the DRS to Cody Lawrence. So it is still a 3-horse race up front, and they have put a full gap on Major Castleman to the tune of 19 seconds, which may be almost enough to cover off the pit stop here. As all 3 drivers do stay out, 20 laps on those hard tires. I told you the number that was given to me earlier by Cody Lawrence was 25 laps. 25 laps, he said. Here we go. Aaron Altmaier does lose the DRS to Cody Lawrence, and Dago takes the spot from him. So it is Dago in the Alfa Romeo up to P2, and now has his sights set on Cody Lawrence, as it looks like Jason Pelter may have had a little incident there, loses the spot to combined YouTuber, combined on the fresher tires, and it looks like those two inverted the positions. It was a temporary yellow flag, so don't know, maybe one pushed the other wide, but it looked like Jason Pelter came out on the worst end of that. All right, Jeffrey Lawler inching and inching forward, closer and closer, trying to get into the DRS of Cody Lawrence. Trying to put Cody on the defensive here, but Cody right now is just off to the races. Remember, folks, he started in P16, didn't set a competitive lap at all during qualifying, just kind of drove around with 100% battery for a while. Unfortunately, you guys didn't get to see that because I messed up. And we have a slow-moving car of Gary Hamilton, it looks like. Yeah, Gary getting out of the way wisely, letting Hudson Pool and Razor Senna get through, respecting the blue flag. So good job by him. Let's see what the top 3 do. Are they going to stay out? I believe they do, but I wonder which one of them is going to blink first. Who's going to be the one that wants to go for the undercut? And it looks like Jeffrey Lawler and Graz are both in a little bit earlier than Cody's going to be. Cody has a chance to respond, and can they come out of front of Major Castleman? Major Castleman right now with Ian Krager on his tail end. As they come through the chicane, you need a really good exit here. Jeffrey Lawler, Aaron Altmaier still sat in the pits, not moving yet. Here they come down the main straight. Both cars moving, but they will not make it out of the pits in time. Major Castleman promotes into P2. Ian Krager promotes into P3 of the race. Now, Jeffrey Lawler and Graz, super fast drivers on fresh, soft tires that they don't really need to make last. 10 laps is when our last drive, I think it was 11 laps for Razors when he came in. He was finally done with them. So we got a car spun around. Is that Gary Hamilton? It is Gary Hamilton having a bit of an issue on the exit of the chicane there. And a couple of drivers had to slow down, even though his car was ghosted. And Jason Pelter and Big Mama Frank, or I'm sorry, Jason Pelter and combined YouTuber able to get through because we do use ghosting in these lobbies. All right, so Aaron Altmaier overtaken by Maxime. I don't know if maybe the tires weren't quite to Aaron's expectations as far as the grip, but he lost that spot to Maxime. And so right now the potential teammates of Maxime and Rhapsody in P5 and P7, the potential teammates of Jeffrey Lawler and Graz, Dago and Graz, P3 at P6, Cody Lawrence, the reserve right now leading the Grand Prix, 23 laps. Does he come in this time around? Probably not. He's just out lapping right now, folks. We can see all the way back there, Ian Krager in P2, 21 seconds back, and Major Castleman has had an issue. Major Castleman loses it. Looks like he may have lost his front wing for his trouble as well. into the pits. Only 14 laps. Oh, bumps the... so that's going to be a wing change almost definitely for sure. He's going very, very slowly in the pits right now. Don't know if he got bumped into the pits, but he is coming in. Major Castleman has retired from the session. Wonder if we'll get a chance to talk to him. Don't know if he's watching. He's not in Discord voice right now. Would be nice to hear from him if he would like to tell us what happened there. But he called it quits on lap 24 out of 33. And Jeffrey Lawler has taken the spot from Ian Krager. So Jeffrey Lawler up into P2. Graz has got his tires fired up and has taken that spot back from Maxime. Another Sector 3, that's a yellow flag for Major Castleman's car. All right, there's Cody Lawrence. 23 laps. 25 was the target number I had heard earlier, but on lap 20, lap 24, for all intents and purposes, he crossed the line to begin lap 25. So 24 laps completed on those medium tires, right in the window that Cody said he was going to go for. Can he come out ahead? Oh yeah, he easily covers this off. Now it is going to be a drag race to the end here, folks. Jeffrey Lawler goes fastest one at 1:18.6, and he is actually going to take the spot. So Jeffrey Lawler into the lead of the race after that early moment where he dropped down all the way down to P14 at one point. Now Ian Krager gets covered off by Cody Lawrence. Cody's not going to have those tires all the way up to temperature. Ian's tires are in a perfect working window right now. So slight grip advantage momentarily for Ian Krager. But can he get around Cody Lawrence? The Alpine driver says no. And they almost touch side by side. They come through, and Ian Krager momentarily takes the spot. A little bit of a wheel bang. Ian Krager with the inside line here. Can Cody switch him back? Cody does have the grip now. It looks like he's got those tires fired up. Jerks away from Ian. They got a little bit close there side by side, and Cody Lawrence ducks out of it and says, man, I'll just take you on the DRS straight. All right, so nothing doing there. Can he get him on the main straight? I think he's going to be able to. Ian does like to run lower. Oh, Ian loses the rear end there. A little bit of traction loss, and Cody takes the spot before the DRS zone. Now, this will actually give Ian the DRS as they go through the detection zone right now. As they go through the detection zone. So had Cody stayed ahead until then, he would have maintained the DRS. But now Ian is going to have the DRS as we see Cody Lawrence move over to try to break the toe. Not really a swerve, but it was close to more than one move, but he did move just before the braking zone. So fair play there. Ian not able to catch up. Yellow flag again for Gary Hamilton, who's not had a great race this far in that Williams machine. Let's check in with the other race, folks, see how things are going over there. Enjoyer now out of the session. So Ethan Patel into the lead of the race from Joel Gruan, from Shaggy Muffin, who is pitted for another set of soft tires. Big Elbro in P4, Mr. Sandunga in P5, Stars FPS over there, 14-lap-old hards in P6. Buffalo Trace doing good work here, P7, 8-lap-old hard tires. Condor the Fox and Hoke Droldy round out the remaining 9 drivers in that grid. We'll go back over to the feature event here, and unfortunately for Gary Hamilton, just not a good time. Jason Peltzer, combined YouTuber, Big Mama Frank, all in for fresh tires. Really only close battle right now on track is Ian Krager chasing down Cody Lawrence. They're 3 seconds back from Jeffrey Lawler. Jeffrey has put an absolute gap on these dudes. And Cody Lawrence, I thought, was going to be in a really good position to win this race, starting dead last. But still, P2 to... And is this a safety car? Is this a VSC? We got yellow flag. It is a full safety car. Ian Krager is going to come in and get a set of soft tires. Is he going to lose another spot here, potentially, to Aaron Altmaier in P4? He is. He's going to lose that spot. He's going to lose a spot to... No, he's not going to lose to Maxime. Maxime is coming in for a set of soft tires. Does Eric Carvalho stay out? Eric Carvalho into the pits. Hudson Poole into the pits. Razor Senna into the pits. Jason Pelter got a lot of catch up to do here. Can he maybe take a couple of these spots here? He's got fresh medium tires. He's got to respect the delta. He can't go as fast as he would like to do, but can he catch up enough? He's going to be caught up to the pack once they all bunch back up for about the last 5 laps. But can he get one of these spots as Pelter, the Gator, loses a little bit of traction there? And looks like, is that combined YouTuber that's right on top of him? No, it's just a glitch on my screen. It looked like those two were absolutely racing one another. Not the case. So this is our second safety car, and between the two lobbies. Sorry, second safety car of the night. So if you're doing the game, you need to drink. All right, so resetting the order is Jeffrey Lawler from Cody Lawrence, Aaron Altmaier, Graz, Ian Krieger, Maxime and his potential teammate Rhapsody, Eric Carvalho, Hudson Poole, the defending Division 1 champ, former Red Bull driver, possibly future Red Bull driver in P7, Razor Senna, probably my favorite Brazilian driver, left us for a while and is back. Brand new game. He is back running no assists, no line, up into P8 of this race. Jason Pelter also going no assists this season, up into P9. Combined YouTuber, the Australian Division 2 Ferrari driver last season in P10. Big Mama Frank, Constructors Champion, and I believe P4 at the end of the day in the season standings. In P11, Gary Hamilton, new to the league in P12. Fully 2 minutes back from Big Mama Frank, so that's well over a lap, nearly 2 laps down, and just having a rough time of it, man. Let's see who has the fastest lap currently. Jeffrey Lawler with a 1:18.6. Nobody's been able to pip that yet, and that was the time he set when Cody Lawrence went into the pits. So gonna bunch the cars back up here, and while we're waiting on this to get all caught up, let's check in with our other race. Not much changing going on there. Shaggy Muffin still 2 seconds back from Joel Guron on those soft tires, trying to catch up. Hokage Roldy went in and put on another set of soft tires. So 6 laps remaining over there, and it is Joel Guron and Ethan Patel on for a podium along with Shaggy Muffin. Interesting to note, no penalties over there. So all those drivers having a really clean race at a track that has, you know, the reason it's a testing track, has all kinds of different corners, all kinds of different sectors. So to maintain a penalty-free race is a pretty good thing. And so for you team principals that are looking, didn't get to see a lot from Enjoyer, didn't get a lot to see from Beamer or from Fitz, but good showing from Buffalo Trace. Unfortunately, he's a team principal. He'll be driving Alfa Romeo. Good showing from Joel Guron. Unfortunately, team principal. He'll be driving for Aston Martin. So Ethan Patel made the move to wheel last season, still doing pretty well, beating some drivers that are in higher divisions. Shaggy Muffin, Joel Guron, former Division 1 drivers. Big Ailbro in Division 4. Actually, a lot of folks seem to think that I'm the oldest driver in the league. It is not. Big Ailbro actually has me by a couple years and a couple dozen points of skill, because he is showing out right now in P4. Mr. Sandunga, another one this year, going no assists at all. Struggling at first in the first couple of races. It looks like we're going to have a move here. The Aston Martin of Joel Guron being overtaken by the quicker Shaggy Muffin on the better tires in the Haas on America's Freedom Weekend. The American team taking over the British team. So take that, Brits. Enjoy our treason. And oh, Joel gets the spot back, and it looks like Shaggy Muffin actually ran wide there, ghosted temporarily. I seriously doubt there was any contact there, and if there was, I surely wasn't. It was not purposeful. It was purely incidental, but a couple of good guys there. But hey, we're back under green flag racing, it looks like, over here in our main race. And no, not yet. Safety car in this lap, but it's not on the track. And the drivers appear to be back at racing speed. Aaron Altmaier losing out just a little bit on that restart, not able to stay close enough to potentially get the DRS. Maxime, half a second back from Ian Krieger. And so it's going to be Jeffrey Lawler and Cody Lawrence here at the end for the win. And who's it going to be, folks? Let us know in the chat. We got a little over 4 laps to go. Another yellow flag. Cannot see who that is, but I'm going to guess it might be one at Gary Hamilton. It is. He's in the wall, has lost his front wing. So forgettable race for Gary. Probably still getting used to new settings, running different things in a new game. You got to be careful right there. Don't fire up those tires again. Once you spin, these tires tend to hold their heat for about half a lap. Did Maxime just lose the DRS? See here momentarily. Yes, Maxime has lost the DRS. Hudson Poole with the advantage here. Can he make the move here on the main straight? Well, he gets the fastest lap with a 1:18.5. Not enough straight line speed to overtake Maxime. Maxime will stay in P5. Gary Hamilton calls it quits. Has had enough. He has DNF'd, looks like, in turn 14. And is this going to trigger another safety car? It is safety car again. So safety car number 3 for the night. Drink. See if anything cool is happening over here. Not really. Shaggy Muffin, 2.4 seconds back after the incident we saw just a bit earlier. 18 seconds is the lead for Ethan Patel. Now, if there's one thing we know about Ethan Patel, if he has a chance to bottle this, he will. And he is somebody that could definitely lose an 18-second lead. And anything I can do to curse him, I've made sure for the last 2 seasons not to pick Ethan. And I think that trend might end this season. Draft next week at this same time. All 10 team principals choosing across our 4 PC divisions and our Xbox division. It is going to be a hoot. Last year was a lot of fun. We had a lot of memeable moments. Mostly Freddy Razzle, old Razzle Dazzle, getting flashbanged halfway through the broadcast. And he's not back. He's gone. He is no longer the Alpine team principal. Welcome to that seat, Siggy. Siggy will be taking over. And Cole, this is new for tonight. So what we have, NVA was nice enough to stream on his Twitch. And so I got it set it up where we can show the 2 lobbies at once, just as a test. And so right now there's not much happening in this race. So we can show you the other race. We can talk about what's happening over there. And I'm going to work with the other guys doing the rest of the broadcasts. And hopefully we can do this for the other race. So the main race with commentary on Tuesday is going to be Grid 2. So hopefully Grid 2 is much more full than the 12 drivers we had tonight. So the feature is going to be on Grid 2, but we're going to do these pop-ins. I'll probably just stream it on my Twitch and then show somebody how to set it up so they can pop back and forth. But yeah, we can watch 2 races at once. It's pretty sick, pretty slick. I like it, and I appreciate NBA volunteering his time. He's not able to race tonight because he's having issues with his Fanatec pedals causing frame drops. So really good buggy game once again from Codemasters EA. Maybe it's a firmware thing with Fanatec, but yeah, that's super annoying. A lot of people are having audio bug issues. Luckily, one thing we have not seen is issues with desync. Safety car is in this lap, so we're going to say goodbye, even though they have 2 laps remaining, and it looks like a decent fight there between Condor the Fox and Buffalo Trace, who is AI. It looks like he is ghosted. So Ethan Patel, 19 seconds now. Shaggy Muffin, 6 seconds back. Okay, they're going to back the pack up here, folks. So let's pop back over and bring this back onto the main screen. In fact, you know what? I will do this. Trying to use pedals and wheels separately kills the game. So I think... and so Captain Miner is Major Castleman. Oh, a little bit of bump. Hudson Poole and Maxime bump wheels there. That doesn't make any sense. So Major, maybe you could verify this if you've seen it somewhere else for me. Is it just with the Fanatec? Because I've had no issues with my Heisingfeld Sprints and my Moza base. But I guess everyone's mileage may vary there. And we have another yellow for is that Big Mama Frank spawn. Side-by-side action here. Hudson Poole on Maxime. Maxime giving him a little bit of a squeeze here. Who's going to come out on top? We'll watch from behind. Jason Pelter, the Gator, giving us a great view of that battle in front. Side-by-side, they bang. And Ian Krieger takes that spot from Hudson Poole. So a couple of the young guns from Division 1. And Ian comes out the better for it. Hudson gets knocked a little bit off track. So Ian Krieger up into P4 of the race. Hudson Poole drops down to P5. Going to be under attack from Maxime. Okay, so Major in the chat confirming that it is, seems to be at least Fanatec related. So we got a little over a lap and a half remaining. It's Jeffrey Lawler and Cody Lawrence. Can Cody do anything on this back straight? DRS not open. Oh, there's no DRS. Safety cars just came in. So we're going to finish this last lap without DRS because normally it's 2 laps after the safety car came in and we only have 1 lap remaining. So that's 1 lap plus 1 lap. That's 2. No matter how you count it, folks. I didn't even have to take my shoes off for that one. So here we go. It's Jeffrey Lawler, Dago from Cody Lawrence, from Graz, from Ian Krieger. And let's see, when they come across the line, will DRS be enabled? You would think it would be if it's the last lap. We know the FIA likes to do screwy things. Race director doesn't always know what he's doing. There will be no DRS. So it's going to be down to pure pace and battery usage. Can Cody get the move done here? No. Let's check with Ian Krieger. Can he get this move done? No. Ooh, touching, a little bit of rubbing. Oh, rubbing his racing voice. And Graz holds on to the spot. Ian Krieger doing a great job of holding on to it there to not knock him off the track. Teammates of Eric Carvalho and Maxime, Jason Pelter loses the spot to Eric Carvalho there in P7. Yeah, Dago already out of battery, says Major Castleman. So, yeah, Captain Miner, he may be in trouble here. Cody Lawrence doing a pretty good job preserving a little bit of battery. For for this last push. He's got to get on it pretty heavy here. Now, can he take this completely flat? A little bit of a lift, and he'll be back on the battery. No DRS, so he's got to just burn everything he's got here. Here we go. 210s back, 310s back, 210s, 110s. Has a little look, little peek. Nope, nothing doing there. Jeffrey Lawler runs a little bit wide, and Cody gets a little bit of wheel spin. Almost loses it. Does hold on to it now. So Dago, 4/10 ahead, 3/10 ahead. Can Cody Lawrence do it? Oh, Dago's around. Oh, Dago is around, out of the lead of the race. He was in P1. He's going to drop all the way down to about P7. All he had to do was finish up turns 13, 14, and 15, and it would have been a race win for Jeffrey Lawler. But the first time here in Zoom Racing League, across the line, the reserve, Cody Lawrence goes P1. Graz in the Aston Martin. The potential teammate for Jeffrey Lawler into P2. Ian on the podium in P3. Hudson Poole, the defending champ, P4. Maxime in P5. His potential teammate Rhapsody in P6. Jason Belzer, the Gator, into P7. The Australian combined YouTuber into P8. Jeffrey Lawler P9. Razor Senna is back into P10. And your Season 6 Division 5 champion, Big Mama Frank, the final driver to finish the race. And that is it, folks. 16 drivers started. Cody Lawrence, driver of the day from P16. Last to first challenge completed in part to a spin from Dago. Jeffrey Lawler having an absolute bad time. And there he is, Mr. Cody Lawrence, the reserve, making Alpine look good in that blue and pink. So interesting podium there. Alpine, Aston Martin, Haas. Is that a preview of things to come potentially? Joel Guron, surely hope so. He'd love to see it. Flossie would love to see the Haas on the podium a lot. And Siggy, of course, going to do everything he can to recover Alpine from the absolute disaster that Raz turned it into last season. We'll see here in just a moment if any of these guys want to pop in here and do an interview. But, yep, that was something. Driver of the day in the other race. Let's pop over and look at those results real quick. Is Buffalo Trace, but it looked like he was ghosted, so hopefully his AI didn't get driver of the day. The winner in the McLaren, there he is. It's Ethan Patel. Technic Speedy wins from Joel Guron, Shaggy Muffin, Mr. Sandunga into P4 where he started the race, and Big Elbro from 10th to 5th. Buffalo Trace 12th to 6th. 8th to 7th for Stars, 9th to 8th for Condor. Hokage rolled the 7th to 9th, 6 to 10 for Enjoyer, who did not finish, nor did Beamer or Fitz Dickwell. So that's it. It's Cody Lawrence, Graz, Ian Krager, Hudson Poole, Maxime Era Carvalho, Jason Pelter, combined YouTuber, Jeffrey Lawler, Razor Senna, Big Mama Frankie, your final finisher. The Scotsman Gary Hamilton having a rough time. Major Castleman having a rough time. Thermo Revised himself and beached it. And sorry, 1 second here, and we'll pop over here and get a look at this. Final DNFs, Tom Hatcap, John Pelon. Look at the race director real quick. Incidents, were there a lot of them? No. Fair few. 10 seconds for John Pelon when he slid. Drive-through penalty for Tom Hatcap for speeding under VSC. 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Tom Hatcap. So HTCP did not have a good time. Thermo, of course, disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. Nobody in the waiting room, so I assume nobody wants to talk. And let's pop up here to general. Like, why are none of you cowards coming to be interviewed right now? Why do I have to come chase you down?
I could be interviewed? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, hop on down, Ethan.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I never get this chance. I'm so...
All right, we're going to talk first to... Cody Lawrence. So, Cody, you're going to be reserving here in Zoom Racing League. You said you were kind of on the fence about doing league racing at all, but I didn't get it on stream because I screwed up and I forgot to hit go live inside YouTube Studio. But I watched you for quite a while in quali, and I think that it was your intention from the beginning to start last and try to win, and it looks like you pulled it off, man.
You might want to go to Scotland Yard, my friend, because your detective skills are excellent. Yes, that was my plan.
Yep, you using much battery, running around with 100% battery, setting 119s just casually, making sure that you did not break that delta to where you moved up out of the P16. So yeah, for me watching, that was a fun race. You and Dago there all the way to the end until he made his little mistake coming out of turn 12. So how was the race from your perspective?
Man, I feel bad for Dago. He had that one. Like, I was hoping, just as a whole, I was hoping that wasn't going to come down to a 2-lap sprint. because I felt like he was stronger on a short run than I was. I think I had a little less downforce than him. So if we got into a longer run where the battery was going to be more important, I felt like I could do something. That's why I was like hoping, please let this be the only safety car that we get one where we have a top sprint. So I kind of just went and thought, it's going to be very difficult. But no, Dago deserved to win that. He had the checkered flag in hand. Well done to him. Congrats to him. He deserved. I'd say he won that in all but name, if you ask me. But no, actually, I was gonna, if I might, I just wanted to test a few things today because I wanted to see how the dirty air was in the dry, and I did learn quite a lot from that race. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. It absolutely was fun. We'll see if I still want a league race on this game, but that wasn't too bad.
Yep, and you called it before. I happened to be in the call before the race actually started, and you were telling us how bulletproof the mediums were. So I kept bringing that up. I kept telling folks they needed to watch because it was going to be somewhere between lap 24 and 26 that you would come in. And sure enough, you finished lap 24 and lap 25 as you crossed that line in the pit lane. There was the 25 number that you had told me, and so the strategy worked out perfectly. And a lot of folks need to pay attention to stuff like that because that's useful information for the next time we have a race here.
Oh, absolutely. But I think Dago nailed the strategy just with that undercut because I saw we were on the cusp with Major Castleman and Ian Kreger. So I was thinking if I could just squeeze another lap out of those tires, I could try to come out ahead of Castleman. And I think I played my hand just a little too far because if I had pitted the lap prior, I think I would have come out at least a little bit more ahead of Ian because he managed to get me when we were on the cold tires. So not perfect from my side. I think Dago played it better than I did, or Jeffrey, if that's
either way. We go back and forth with them. So Dago is Jeffrey, good. Maxime's Maxime, Rhapsody is Era. Yeah. We call out people's preferred name, and if they choose to race under their real name or a pseudonym, we'll do that too. But Cody Lawrence, good stuff. Good show tonight, and look forward to seeing you more on the grid, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. Ethan Patel is up next. Don't know why I'm talking to you. Why are you here?
I won.
Oh, that's right. The junior league, the grid number 2. And not only did you win, you beat some drivers that are currently placed higher than you in the sorting table. So is this something I'm going to start seeing a lot more of? Is Ethan Patel not bottling it? I called you out on stream and I said he's got an 18-second lead right now over Joel Guron. If there's one thing I know about Ethan is if there's a way to bottle it, one of the two of us, either me or you, will find it. And here lately, you've been doing it, but you didn't do it tonight. You did great. So sell me as someone who might be drafting you why I should draft you.
So I got pole position by 6/10.
Okay, that's nice.
I mean, that's a great start against, Shaggy Muffin. Joel on the wheel. He actually, shout out to him, bro. He has some pace on that wheel. He'll definitely turn up by the end of the season. I think might be a rough start for him in D2, but he'll get there at the end. But no, I just kept it consistent. I did have a little spin, but everyone else did. We got the safety car, and after the safety car, I don't think I put a single foot wrong.
Well, it's good to see. Had a little fight behind you there for a while. Of course, they were almost 20 seconds back, but Shaggy Muffin and Joel Guron fighting each other and just letting you continue to gap them there. Was there any concern on your part that those guys might be able to catch up to you?
No, so Joel, I was behind Joel, and then I overtook him, and I was able to lose the DRS, which behind Spain is crucial. And Shaggy was on a 2-stopper where he went soft. So the softs had initial pace. That's why I saw when you tuned in, Shaggy was in the lead. That's because he was on the softs, and he passed us. But then when he pit, he had to go back on the softs, and I believe Joel had a spin, so that's why he was able to beat Joel.
Where did that go? That got deleted. All right, sorry, I had something else I was dealing with. So yeah, that was a pretty good race from your part. Team principals need to take note because Ethan Patel is back close to D1 pace on a wheel, still running with some assists, but hey, it's one step at a time and it's steps in a positive direction. So congratulations on the win to you. And we're going to drag Graz in here now. And Mr. Aaron Altmaier, the artist known as Graz. So we've been hearing rumors in the paddock that you and Dago want to be teammates, want to be drafted together. Dago had an excellent race until he spun there at the end, but you were keeping pace with those guys the whole time. How did that race go from your perspective?
Yeah, so I mean, it went really well. I kind of saw Cody Lawrence pushing his way through the pack from P16, and I mean, I knew eventually he was going to overtake me, but the goal was to just stick with him. Stayed within his DRS, and basically it was just me, him, and Dago the whole race until that safety car came out. But you know, it was just basically me running the same strategy as Cody, and hoping at the end I might get an opportunity to overtake. But really happy with how it went.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty solid, even race. Your temporary teammate Thermo did not have a good time. Beached himself. I think no, he wasn't your teammate in race. Who was? I'm an idiot.
Combined YouTuber
Combined
was.
YouTubers. So the Australian. I don't know if you guys were in a call together or not. I noticed a lot of folks in general together, but obviously not the same result for the two of you. Were you guys on the same strategy?
No, I think everyone aside from me, Dago, and Cody were going medium to hard, but we were the only three that went medium to soft.
Yeah, and that's why it pays a lot of times to be in these calls and listen to folks and pay attention. Cody told us before the race that 25 laps on the mediums was going to be easy work, and sure enough, lap 24, he comes in at the end of lap 24, and it was right where he said it. Lap 25, the mediums lasted the whole time. I think you were just the lap before him.
Yeah, me and Dago went in at the same time.
So yeah, it was a good strategy call. It worked out really well, almost all the way till the end, but good stuff tonight. So do you have a preference on where you get drafted? Is there a car that you like driving more than any other?
I mean, I've always been a Ferrari guy. I don't think I've ever raced in a league that I wasn't in the Ferrari. So you know, it might be a little bit different being in something you know, a different car this league, but you know, it doesn't make much of a difference. You know, they all go the same speed. So
Fair enough. Well, your desired teammate Dago has already been announced as a keeper for McLaren. So you might want to get used to the sound of that McLaren machine, because if you get chosen to Ferrari, your teammate will be the team principal, Peter Giordano, who has to pick himself in that seat. So that's going to be very interesting to see what happens. See if guys are going to honor requests for teammates, or if we're going to break up happy families.
yeah, we got some conversations, you know, off the track. So I mean, I kind of have a good idea of where I'm gonna go, but you know, we'll just see how it plays out.
All right, Grass, thank you so much for joining us. Great work tonight. And that's going to be it for us.
Hey, thank you.
All right, jump you back down in the waiting room. That's it for us, folks. Thank you so much for being here. Gary Hamilton says, I'm very disappointed today. I don't know. My setup wasn't great and didn't have any traction. Hopefully I can impress you next time. Hey, Gary, we all have bad races. We all have a race to forget. So learn something. Don't give up and come back stronger next time. So that is it. That is Grid 1, Round 1 Preseason Championship. These drivers trying to impress some team principals, trying to improve their draft stock, and some of them just trying to get drafted where they want to get drafted. And so are there going to be some of these guys sandbagging? Nah, they're racing as hard as they can. But that's it for us. We'll be back Tuesday night from Jeddah. We're going to feature Grid 2, and we'll try to do a little picture-in-picture of Grid 1, let you know what's going on over there. But that is it for us. That's it for me. I'm going to go and fall down because I'm exhausted and I have almost no voice left. But we appreciate you being here, hanging out with us tonight for Preseason Championship, Grid 1 of Zoom Racing League. Good night, folks.